Hello there, and welcome back to That Handicapping Show, sponsored by TwinSpires.com. I'm Jason Chandler, along with Tom Lamara and Rich Nilsson from Brisnet.com. This week's featured race is the San Felipe from Santa Anita. We'll also touch on the Tampa Bay Derby, and then briefly mention the Timely Rider, which of course is the season debut of Uncle Mo. Let's get right into it and talk about the San Felipe, which drew a field of 10 and really, guys, came up an exceptional betting race. Grade 1 winners in here are Jay Cito, who makes his season debut for Bob Baffert, and Comet to the Top, who had his 5-race win streak, broke last out in the El Camino Real in 4th. 2 impressive maiden winners in here, Albergati and Run Flat Out, who are stepping up. Premier Pegasus, a grade 3 winner. You also have a horse like Bench Points, who is undefeated in 4 starts. So lots of way to go. Lots of speed in here, Rich. How do you see it playing out?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Run Flat Out stands out on the Briss figures. In the speed and class pace figures. I mean, not the pace. That's the thing, and that's the reason I'm gonna try to beat him. Is there's so much speed in the race.
Yeah.
And with him stretching out, that alone makes him vulnerable. The pace scenario on top of that, and he's going to be overbet. So
I would agree with you.
I'm going to take a shot against him. I'm going to box 4 horses, but I'm going to play 2 horses to win because I think it's that type of race, and I think they're both going to be a good price. One of them is definitely going to be a good price, which is Surrey Star. I just think it sets up for him. The only time this horse ran 2 turns was in the Generous at Hollywood, and he closed very well, ran a close 3rd behind Comet to the Top. He's got a pedigree that screams, distance, and, he didn't have much of a chance over that wet track last time against the Factor.
Right.
He should move forward off that race. He's got a good rider in Joe Talamo, and I just think it sets up for a closer.
Okay.
And, this is one of the few closers in the race. The other horse that shows some, off the pace ability, I think, is Awesome Patriot, and I think he's going to be a fair price just because there's a lot of other horses in this race that are going to take money.
Yeah, he will.
So those are the 2 I'm going to play to win, and I'm going to box them with Premier Pegasus, who is a very logical horse, and Jay Cito, because I think Jay Cito, he has every reason to be a major Kentucky Derby contender this year. He's got the right style and so forth.
Yeah, Jay Cito, I think, will probably wind up going off as the favorite here, and but I think he's a horse. He's a favorite to play against because he's making his season debut. I think he'll probably wind up being the best of this group, in my opinion. But off the layoff, and Baffert said he's still trying to kind of figure out what kind of horse he is, his running style. They're still trying to learn about him, and he's probably this is the spot to play against. He might be a little short.
It's funny you mention that because one of the stats, I see this pop up every once in a while, whenever Baffert has a horse like this, whenever it's a first-time Baffert, switching to Baffert, it's like his worst category. Of all the trainer stats, he's 11% with a horse making his first start. So he likes to give a horse a race, figure out, like what you said. And the fact that coupled with that with the layoff, you'd have to think he's going to run well, but maybe not get there.
He'll have him primed for the Santa Anita Derby, but I'm going to use him underneath. But go ahead with your pick, Tom, because we wound up on the same horse.
Yes, we did. Premier Pegasus, we ended up with that horse on top. He's stretching out for the first time, but I really liked the way he ran against the Factor last time. The Factor went 107-1 for 6 furlongs, 120-1 for 7 furlongs. Usually when you're chasing horses like that who aren't quitting, you kind of have an excuse, and Premier Pegasus finished 3rd. Blinkers off.
Not sure what to make of that.
Not sure what to make of that, but I do think, he is absolutely bred for 2 turns. We'll see how that plays out. Alonzo Canones has ridden him all 4 races. He's back. He actually jumps off the Cowbred, who won last time. And so I'm going to pick him on top. Jay Cito, and he's blinkers off too. He's worn blinkers in all of his 4 starts. But I would expect the horse to run very, very well. I'm going to use him. And Awesome Patriot won one of the best 3-horse races I think I've seen in a long time. It was quite exciting and a meaningful race, I think, when He had the lead, lost it against Riveting Reason, came back and won. This is a horse that absolutely wants to go long, and I think he'll be the bigger price of the two Baffert horses.
Yeah, we all three of us like Awesome Patriot. Baffert is still a little bit unsure of this horse too. He said he's still a little immature, but he'll relish 2 turns. He knows that. So Awesome Patriot will be a decent price. Jay Cito, Premier Pegasus. He's kind of a lukewarm pick for me. Premier Pegasus. The other horse I'll throw my exotics is Albergati, the maiden winner who runs for Asmussen and Gomez, stays on. I think he's a horse that's going to get a test, but he's an improving horse. So lots of ways to go.
It's a very good betting race.
Yeah, it really is. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Derby, which also drew a field of 10, but will go to post probably with 9 since Uncle Mo was cross-entered in here and will be scratched from this race. It's not as good a betting race as the San Felipe as far as the quality in here, but if you don't like Brethren, who will be the odds-on favorite here, which you guys don't, it's a good betting race if you think he can be beat. He's undefeated in 3 starts. He towered over the Sam Davis field here. All 4 top 4 finishers of that race come back. We'll start with you, Rich. You think he can get beat here?
Well, his last race was really impressive. It's hard to fault.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the kick in the armor is the fact that we only gave him a 94 Brisk speed rating, which you would have expected the way he crushed that field that he would have got like a 100 speed figure, and he only got a 94, which is actually lower than Free Entry's last 2 races. Free Entry's gotten a 96 in his last 2 starts. So I'm going to go with Free Entry. He's going to be the better value, and I think he's going to get a perfect stalking trip with Moon Hangers, no doubt going to sprint to the front, and Crimson Knight and Striding Ahead are both going to show speed. And I think Free Entry with Alan Garcia, who's a great rider, should just sit a perfect stalking trip. And actually, Brethren will sit a good stalking trip too. So it'll be whoever the better horse is.
Yeah, I like Free Entry too. He's a horse that looks like he's getting good, and Chad Brown is a good trainer, and the winning connections here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tom, you're going back to the well with Beamer. He's kind of like your first dude for me. You keep picking.
Look. Each year, Triple Crown Trail, I have what I call my sucker horse, and this is my sucker horse. I think I played him twice. Yeah, his last 2 starts. And, this race is the Sam Davis plus a few other horses, including Free Entry, who I could absolutely see winning this race. I'm going to use him in exotics without a doubt. Beamer, just his last race, he had a terrible start, and he was back. It was just not a good trip. He closed late. I still don't understand how the second and third horses ran second and third in the Sam Davis.
Yeah.
I am convinced that Beamer is better than those horses.
I agree with you.
And
He should
I do not agree, because how do you call Two Experience? Two Experience has won 5 of 7 lifetime with a second.
I think this horse is decent. And now that said, I'm using 4 horses in this race, including the heavy favorite, because he did, he crushed him last time easily. Striding Ahead is a horse that I think will improve.
Yeah.
I really liked his maiden win at Tampa.
Impressive.
And I think he has some quality, and I liked Free Entry as well. But yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of win money on Beamer because he's my sucker horse.
Well, I'll tip my hat to you, because I've given up on him after those last 2 races. That maiden win was so good at Tampa.
It was very
really
good,
impressive,
yeah.
but he hasn't run back to it yet. So.
No, he hasn't.
He's had excuses in his last 2. I'm with you. I'm gonna.
We'll find out, right?
I'm gonna use him in my exotics. The one horse you guys didn't mention that I'll use is Moonhanger, who you said has some speed, and he ran a good second on turf, and maybe improves back on dirt. And Bruce Alexander's had a good meet.
Oh, he's a very good trainer.
Yeah. So I
You'll
expect.
get a good 6 furlongs out of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. He'll give me he'll give me a rush up front. But anyway, that being said, I'm not going to try to beat Brethren here. I'm going to play some trifectas with Brethren Keed because I think he towers over this field. I'm not going to try to get too crazy here. If a horse did jump up and beat him, I think Free Entry is the horse, and I will use Striding again and Beamer. But Brethren, I think is a monster, and what he did on this track, I think, is important. The fact that he did it on
I
this
can't
track.
argue it.
So,
I can't argue it.
let's finally touch on the Tomley Rider, where Uncle Mo is going. He'll face 5. And everybody wants to know, is he as fast as last year? When the probables came out, it looked like there was going to be very, very few speed horses in here. However, Wesley Ward entered Madman Diaries at the last second. And this horse is blazing fast. I picked him in the Hutchinson, and he didn't show that speed, but he has the potential to give Mo a little bit of problems. I guess from a tactical standpoint, Mo breaks from the rail. Does he let Madman Diaries go, or does he try to rate a little bit?
I think he's going to have to let Madman Diaries go.
Yeah.
Especially if they're trying to, teach the horse something.
Right.
Or get something out of the race. For him to hook up with that sprinter early, I don't see what purpose that would serve.
He's a graded
So-
stakes winner, so he's a good horse. I don't know how much else is in the race, but do you guys see him struggling here? Do you see him winning?
I think he'll win.
Easy?
If I was, I think he'll blow right past Madman Diaries. I think Rattlesnake Bridge is maybe a sleeper in the race. His maiden
Closer.
win was real impressive, and he could close, clunk up for second.
Yeah. But Mo doesn't.
I'm just going to watch the race.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people want the horse to win, which is fine because, he is the leading horse right now. I'm always leery about that one hole in these 1 mile races and the 7 furlong races at these tracks because for some reason, things happen.
Right.
Like Rule has the rail and the Gulfstream handicap on that same card, and that's just a rough spot, those 1-turn miles. So we'll see what happens. I wish the horse the best. I hope he runs lights out and moves on.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
No financial investment whatsoever.
Yeah, just a race to watch for me. I think he will have to work a little bit against Madman Diaries. Ward's, wheeling him back 2 weeks later off a subpar performance in the Hutchinson. I think he'll be tested a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd
than
rather
people
see the
think.
blinkers go back on, but we don't think that's
Yeah,
the case, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, great card all around at Santa Anita, Gulfstream, Tampa. So should be fun wagering weekend. What's going on at TwinSpires and Bristol?
Well, the big news is we introduced the TwinSpires online handicapping series, which is a series of handicapping events 3 days a week from now until November. So it's pretty exciting. It's basically the most handicapping tournaments we've ever done. They lead to qualifiers for the National Handicapping Championship.
Free tournaments?
No, the Thursday, Friday events are $10.
Okay.
And then Saturday events are $25. 50. So they're very reasonable to get in. You can win your way into the $200 event, which is the last Saturday of every month. And in that event each month, we're giving away a spot to the National Handicapping Championship.
Okay.
So we're the only site doing that, and then it's going to lead to our big annual November contest, which we're bringing back, and that one's going to be bigger than ever. We're giving away a record 50 spots to the Las Vegas tournaments, top 20 to the National Handicapping Championship, and then the next 30 to the World Series.
Okay.
So pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, like you said, very, very reasonable buy-ins there.
Yeah, and we're paying back all the entry fees in the form of prizes, so it's a great deal for the players.
Yeah.
Because not many tournaments do that nowadays.
Okay. Look for details on TwinSpires.com. Thanks to TwinSpires and Briss, our sponsors, and thanks to everybody for watching. Have a great weekend. For Tom and Rich, I'm Jason. Good day.